This action camera costs only $100, supports shooting in native 4K with good image stabilization, spare battery, external microphone support, lots of accessories, decent performance, and totally deserves its spot on the channel, presenting you the Campark V30.
Hey, welcome to the channel, I'm Michael, and I've always wanted to try that. This, by the way, is the external microphone of the Akaso V50x, because you probably know by the time watching this video, or if you don't know, I'm telling you now, this V30 by Campark is more or less the same as the Akaso V50x, and unfortunately by the time I was still making the video for the Akaso model, this external microphone has not arrived yet. So I thought, because they're similar and there's this external microphone feature in the menus, I'd give it a try, and that's it. Unfortunately, this is the maximum length of the cable, and I need to put it here. Almost there. It's not very easy to do that with just a single hand, but that's the microphone quality of the external mic of the Campark V30. Actually, that's the Akaso V50x external microphone on the Campark V30, and they're supposed to sound kind of the same way. Well, I wanted to start this review by testing the microphone quality, and here I tell you that the current price of this action camera is around $100, and in my opinion, if you're looking for a starter action camera, it's hard to find something better. I mean, this platform is really fabulous because for a very modest price you get really all the features that matter in 2020, even more than that, because it can record in 4K 30 frames per second, stabilized footage, external microphone, perfect for vlogging. And by the way, I've heard the quality of this microphone before this video, so I know it's really good. And by the way, let me show you the external one. Unlike the Firefly X, which I have tested a little bit earlier, you can check the review linked over here. This doesn't support online migration. I mean, I have to shut down the camera. And now that's the quality you could expect from the embedded microphone. Keep in mind, today's a little windy and I'm at a rather noisy place, so probably the quality won't be that spectacular. Coming back to the price, around $100 with a lot of accessories that you're going to see in the next section of this video, and a lot of good features. And of course, as usual, links to the best possible price you can find in the description right below.
Unboxing this action camera is very pleasant. You probably can recognize the form factor of the box, kind of the GoPro-like, with the significant difference that there actually are a lot of accessories included inside. Quite obvious that the V30 model arrives with a waterproof case, and I need to tell you that this is one of the really good cameras for shooting underwater, because besides the touchscreen, it can be navigated with buttons, something that the waterproof housing allows too. From the many mounting plates, we can notice the two batteries arriving with the combo, so there's no need to look for spares, and also you can charge the battery with a power bank while shooting. Taking the camera out of the case, and we can see how it is built, mostly plastic. The protective film on the display asks you to use a U3 card. In fact, even a good class 10 card would be sufficient considering the bitrate, because in 4K, the highest resolution, it hardly exceeds 55 to 60 megabits. But having a decent card is always better. The camera has nothing unusual in terms of ports. Besides the micro SD, there's a micro USB port. Pity that we still see such in 2020. And there's also a micro HDMI. So with some wiring, you can well equip it for online streaming through a capture card. Time to please those of you that like the geeky stuff. Inside is powered by a Hisilicon chipset. That's manufactured by Huawei, by the way, and is supposed to be the very same setup as the one inside the Akaso V50x. Same display, same kind of features, slight differences in the menus and the colors of those. 170-degree wide-angle lens, 1350 mAh battery, that's what we count on in terms of hardware. It is very, very lightweight, but seems to be well built. Thanks to the mounting screw at the bottom, you can use most of the accessories that are compatible with GoPro, and of course all of these, which are part of the original package, and that includes even a remote control. What is missing though is an external microphone, which, as shown at the start, is supported, but so far the only option with micro USB I found online is the Akaso external mic, which, confirmed, is working fine here, and probably is the best lavalier microphone I've ever tried on an action cam. Menus are easy to navigate. I need to highlight the really good touchscreen, very responsive, no troubled zones on the surface, and excellent response to touches even with applied protective folio on top, something that I cannot say for the latest Van Top action camera that I've recently tested. To the picture controls, there are exposure and ISO corrections possible, choice for various resolutions. If you primarily record video in 30 frames per second, you can get slow motion in 1080p at 3 times slower than the original speed, because 90 frames per second is the maximum you will get with Full HD. What surprised me a lot is the availability of something like the famous time warp feature by GoPro. Apparently there is some sort of stabilization during time-lapse. Here's the proof. With time-lapse recorded at 0.3 seconds, the electronic image stabilization artifacts are clearly visible, and admirations for Campark for trying to bring the feature to the lower end segment. Still photos, videos, time-lapse, even driving mode, the most famous shooting modes are available, and very easy to be selected from the touchscreen, and it is also very easy to review the recorded files. Of course, you're here to watch footage, so let's get more of it. And know that due to the season, I didn't have the chance to try some more fun activities like biking, hiking, but maybe you can check Drecky's review of the same camera, and over there you can enjoy footage from Australia, on a bike of course. The 4K footage is sharp, with good contrast and details up to the level that such a small sensor would allow. Do not expect DSLR grades, because the size of the sensor here is just a fraction of a full-frame sensor. And I can say that the camera provides good footage for its price. Had to compare it to the latest GoPro and DJI Osmo Action, simply because the processing power here is much weaker, but is certainly up to par with most of the models below $200. Just as the Akaso V50x, this is right now one of the best investments you can make for an action camera, and it can record anything, in pretty much any format, slow motion, sharp-looking 4K or dynamic 1080p at 60 frames per second. And few words about the bad sides. Well, let me see. No freezes, everything works as normal, lots of accessories, decent battery life, around an hour of total usage per cycle if you're battery savvy. Oh, there's one thing that I noticed, and you will also notice if you watch the second and the third minute of the video. I didn't have that with the Akaso V50x, but happened with this one. Audio got slightly out of sync. Looks like image stabilization contributes to that happening. Also, there's no support for 4K at 60 frames per second, or 1080p at 120, or there is no fantastic low light footage quality. Stabilization is also far from the effectiveness of GoPro Hero 8, but the price, $100, and you're gonna get the most of the important for 2020 features, including external mic support and possibility for diving. I'm happy, because this is another brilliant, affordable GoPro alternative. And to the question which is better, Akaso V50x or Campark V30, let's call them even, alright? About anything else you wanna check, let's discuss it in the comments below, and a nice discount of the product is waiting for you in the video description. It's been a great opportunity to present you this action camera. For more tech reviews, hit that subscribe button. If the footage was cool, give me a thumb up, and I'll see you next time.